What's going on, guys? It's Nick with JNC Collectibles, and we are with.
Rhys, Yuhas.
And what'd you do today?
I won a Switch at Unmatched Gaming's Nintendo Switch tournament up in Reading, PA, Chris Uranus store, best locals in PA. And I played Superheavy Samurai, and this is a new ban list, so this is no Scarecrow, Superheavy, and I got first place with it. I went 9-0.
Nice.
I didn't lose a single one of my matches in Swiss or Top Cut.
Nice. Any shout-outs before we get going?
Shout out JNC, obviously, our store. Shout out Joel. He's not here right now, but my testing partner I play with a lot. Shout out Cole, my sponsor. Got me some of the cards I need, other than like the common like cheap stuff that's easy to get. Shout out Yampi, wherever he is right now, goofing off somewhere. And then yeah, shout out Tyler, Chris, Edgar from Unmatched Gaming. Always has like good tournaments, always has good turnouts. I always go back there.
100%. All right, let's get right in.
It's basic stuff. 3 of the best card. For what my deck was doing, this is 1 card everything. So like we'll get into it when I get there. This is 1 card like normal combo, even without Scarecrow. You can still end on like Barone, Appaloosa, Regulus. I don't always go for that. I go for a different combo if I can. But if this is all I open, or if I get hand trapped enough, you still just end on like the regular interruptions. And it's still just really good. This is a creative card. Like this is a custom card basically. This card's so stupid. 3 bike, also just a silly card. It gets you this, gets you whatever. 3 wagon, not the worst normal summon anymore because it's still like it combos on its own. You get Soul Gaia, make equip it special, make Gear Gigant, search this. This is your whole deck, so like you always want to get to that. Also, I don't know if people are playing Ogre as much anymore because it's the start of a new format and this deck isn't as represented. Maybe it will be now, I'm not sure. I actually cut Ogre from my list, so I didn't play Ogre today. I didn't feel like I needed it at all. I did miss it. 3 of this one now. It's now the worst normal summon, because if you only have this, it doesn't do anything. The one time I bricked in Top Cut in a game 1, all I opened was this, and it took me a minute to register that, oh yeah, this isn't combo. Scarecrow's banned, so I just had to set it and pass. But it's still like, you still play 3 because it's still just really good with like any of the others. Like it still searches your whole deck. If you're playing like any less, it just doesn't make sense. And then I upped this card to 3 because of the new list. It sucks to draw on its own, but if you draw like it with any of the others, you can combo because you can still just usually just make Gear Gigant. You can search it off of Wagon, but I also just wanted to maximize like opening this. Like say if I open this and this, like I can do stuff then. You can either link, make the Ancient Gear link, or just make Gigant and search. I just wanted to always see it. It was good. I don't think I'd play it any less. I like opening it in my hand. I like being able to play, and I want to be able to play every turn 1. Because I think if you go kind of unhindered with this, like with this list, turn 1, you're probably not losing because you end on a very, very good board that also just doesn't lose to Dark Ruler. So yeah, going forward, also play 3. 2 Benjamin Benki, standard. I'll get into something else too when I get like further in the list of like why I specifically chose Superheavy to play like the combo that I was playing. But yeah, this card's standard. You don't want to draw like both of them because then you can't use Wakaushi. You want to be able to use Wakaushi, you need to play 2 of this because if you draw the 1, it's just you're sick. And then onto the weird 1-ofs, and so well actually first I played two of this. I was thinking about playing 3, and I got the 3rd one last minute, but I was like honestly like I don't think I need 3. I didn't miss the 3rd at all today. It is another extender, so like if you play 3, like I think it's 2 and 3 is fine. I don't think there's any like. There's not a huge argument for 2 or 3. 3 makes sense in some lists, but I didn't want to play it in this because I was already at 43 cards, and I didn't want to play any more. And there's also like a lot of things I didn't really know to cut. But yeah, this card's still good. The 1 scales, card's still really good. Going first, going second, you just need this card. 1 stealthy. I thought about playing like multiples because like you can just special for free and then like do this to it or do other things to it, but I don't think you need it at 3. And then these weird cards, this guy, you kind of need it for the 1 card combo if you only draw Wakaushi because you searched off Gearbox. There was a time too where I was under skill drain and I used this effect to draw 2 is to try and draw hand traps versus Labyrinth. It got Ash, but like it just didn't matter because I just killed them through skill drain. But this card is really good. You kind of need it. I hate that you need the Gearbox stuff. I mean, I'll get into when I actually get to like the Gearbox package, but he's part of the Gearbox package. He's just a Superheavy. And then this card, I played this because of the combo that I'll get into in a bit. You have to play this because, I mean, I'll just say it now, but because this plus book is just a one card this. They messed up unbanning this, so this is like the combo that I was trying to go for, and I'll get into it in a bit. But you have to play this because it's a one card Dangalong with Wakaushi. You just search off Big Benki, equip special Dangalong, cool Dangalong stuff. That's it for the super heavies, and then Gearbox, Tunneler, and then the other search target for Gearbox was the Coral. Yeah, I hate having to play this card because I hate playing, like, it just sucks to draw. And I'm already playing like 6 cards in the deck that you don't want to draw. You can get away with drawing some of these 6 cards. This is one of them. I guess technically this too, but like this isn't as bad to draw as this is. It's just unfortunate that with the Scarecrow ban, you kind of have to play this because of the tilting entrainment thing, the into ballista, into all that. You just kind of need to. It is good when it goes off when you don't get trolled. 1 Regulus. I cut it to 1. I was playing 2 for my YCS list. I wanted to play 3. I was playing 3 originally when I was testing, but I did keep bricking on it. But today, like, I ended up drawing this a lot today anyways, and being able to just, like, equip the bike, so, like, it felt like it was at 3, but, like, hard opening this card always just feels so good. It just gives you such an extra, like, layer of protection when you're doing your combo. If I had room, I'd probably play 2 or 3 again. Room is so, like, space is so tight. Hand traps now, 3 Droll, 3 Ash, 3 Nib, that's it. I was playing Ogre, I cut it to make room. I didn't think I needed it. All these were good today. You kind of need this because cash is still real, and you really don't have a good going second without Scarecrow anymore. And you can't play board breakers, obviously, so you kind of have to play like high impact hand traps like this and even Droll to an extent. This is just a respect branded. It's also just like not bad. If I were to change this for anything, it'd probably just be like Veil or something, but this did well today. I had no issues with Ash and Nib. Nib will probably always be in my main deck for like a while now. But I was fine with 9 hand traps. I didn't think I needed any more. And then on to the weird combo cards that you need for like the Dangalong thing. You need the 1 Zafranu. You don't need this specifically. I'm playing this. I mean, I'll just put these out here too. The 2 counter traps. I'm playing this specifically because I wanted a level 6 worm to dump off of Dangalong to make it a level 6. So that when I normal summon Soul Piercer, I can just make Barone as the 5th summon and float off the Dangalong. I just chose this because it was the only worm that had like it was the only level 6 worm that had like a relevant grave effect. Like this can come up if you play Ogre, or if you like draw this where you can like summon it from the grave and it becomes a tuner by discarding. It locks you into like the virtual world like level rank 3 higher things for the rest of the turn, which at that point it doesn't really matter. You're probably gonna synchro. But this could realistically be like any level 6 worm. I'd rather have it because it actually has a grave effect. So like if it comes up, I'm not sick. It came up once like the other day.
So is that in the Gearbox pretty much the 2 like hardcore bricks in the deck?
Yeah, the cards you really don't want to draw are like these, the Gearbox, and technically Tunneler.
Okay.
But like Tunneler doesn't suck to draw. But like you don't want to draw these cards because they're all like searchable. Drawing this one isn't the end of the world because when you pendulum summon it, you can still search this. Drawing these isn't the end of the world. It's just they're free anyways. It's more so just drawing this one. That's a little annoying. And Gearbox. But the combo is I didn't come up with this combo. I saw it, but I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. Where you just Wakaushi is a 1-card Dangalong, gets you these. And I was testing like the 3 Wakaushi, 3 Bike, 1 Big Benki, 1 Soulhorn engine, and like other decks. And I kept drawing Big Benki, so I was like, instead of just bricking on the Big Benki, why don't I just play the deck that plays Big Benki normally, that plays multiple Big Benki, which is super heavy. And the end combo is like, if you open just Wakaushi, you do your normal super heavy like Barone, Regulus, Appaloosa. But if you open Wakaushi plus like Piercer, plus like a way to get Piercer or normal summon, you end on the 2 counter traps, a Barone, a Regulus, and a Sargus. And then if you have more cards and more extenders, you end on more than that. You can end an Appaloosa as well. But off of just Wakaushi and Soul Piercer, you get the 2 counter traps, Barone, Regulus, and Sargus, because that's how you search the Regulus. And I think that's really good. That's why I think if you like go first with this and you go unhindered, or even if you get like hand trapped, like low impact hand trapped, you're probably winning because these are beating Dark Ruler. And if they're in your grave after, who cares? Scales doesn't care about traps in your grave and spell and traps in your grave. Neither does Big Benki. Neither does Soul Piercer. And you're probably killing them anyways. Like if these both resolved, and you still have like Barone and Regulus, like your pendulum summon is just game pretty much at that point. And I did that because a lot of people are maining Dark Ruler. People were maining Dark Ruler at the event, at the Switch tournament. And I just think it's like good. There's also 4 free cards to take out going second. I took these out every time going second. There's no reason to keep them in. And when I did, 2 people made me start for some reason. In Swiss, once in Swiss and once in Top Cut. And I was like, that's crazy, but I mean, I guess it works. But I'll just combo normally now. And you have to play like the gearbox stuff because like this doesn't always work. You can't always do like the Denlong combo, or if you get like stopped, you want to still like play normally. And there was a time where I had a Denglong and I tributed like Ballista to summon this, and then this, and the Denglong made Barone because 5 Denglong's a 5 if you don't send. And then the last cards I played in the main are the same stuff I played at the YCS. These in the Citadel. They're still really good. I won more games with them again in Top Cut. This card came in clutch against Cash because I had the Nukas board after I like nibbed him and his like I nibbed him on his turn. I played my turn. I got stopped. I set this. In his turn, he was about to make a push, so this just nukes the board. These cards are still good. I don't think these are mandatory. I just really, really like these cards, and the applications that they have are just really nice. It just gives you an extra layer of protection. The one thing I did find out today, though, is when I was playing, if there was one time I opted to not summon a Regulus because I had all 3 of these, and my Pendulum Scales are used up. So if I use the Regulus, I can't set all 3. I can only set 2. So that's the only like issue I found with it, is that sometimes if you're comboing off like too much, you just don't have the Spell and Trap space because of your scales. And you have to, like, in the combo, you have to Barone pop the Zephranu to get it in the extra for when you Pendulum Summon it. Because it only gets the effect when it's Pendulum Summoned or destroyed by battle or card effect. And when Denglong summons it from deck, it's just chilling on your board for a bit. So you have to search this, you have to kill it or Pendulum Summon it. But that's it for the main deck. It worked out really well. I only bricked once, and it was game 1 of top 8, where I drew like a counter trap and the Tautoi, or Tautu, however you pronounce it. But I didn't draw like a starter. I just drew Soul Piercer. If I drew a Kaushi, it was still like combo. I still had like a good hand, but only bricked once. Extra deck. Play the one Gigant. You kind of have to now, just because you want to get to a Kaushi. So if you open like Wagon is 1-card combo because you make this now. The one Baguska still, because it's Plan B, is still really good. Sargus package, also just really good. Free Regulus, free Big Zeus, standard. Links, I did put this back in because of the gearbox stuff. I don't like that I have to play it, but it was good today. It just sucks if you get trolled. And if this combo and just the combo in general can play through like Ash Veiler, Imperm, things like that, even if they have like 3 of them. You can play through the low impact hand traps pretty easily and put up a decent board. But if you get like nibbed or drolled at like the correct time, well, there's never a correct time to droll. It's just droll is droll. You can't put up a crazy board. So those are the only two hand traps that stop you. And if you do the Denglong thing, which is Barone on 5, you don't get stopped by nib. They have to have another hand trap, and at that point, like that's still like fine. It's 2 cards. They had to use 2 cards to do it, and you still have follow up, and you still have your hand traps. And sometimes you can still play through it. But this does help you play through a lot of the hand traps. Especially with like when it gets to some of the synchros, like the train stuff, you have to play things like that. Other Link 2, Genius, still really good. You just kind of have to play it. It's just too good not to play. Free Regulus, free Kaiju, which I didn't main this time. I might put it back in the main at some point, but I didn't expect to see a lot of purely, and I didn't. I side the Machine Kaiju still because it searches it, but it searches Regulus and that, and you can search Tunneler sometimes. Or if I really want to, I could search Citadel, which I usually don't. Last Link, Apo. I did make it a lot more today. I made it like not at all at the YCS. It was the worst card in my extra at the YCS, but here it's a lot better. Especially just because of like the new combos. Because Scarecrow's banned, you kind of have to play it, but it did come up a lot. Synchros then, Denglong. I don't know why they brought it back. Card is silly, card is stupid. It just represents so much on its own because it has 3 effects, and every card that has 3 effects is usually just broken. Yeah, this card's silly. I wanted to play something that abused this until they ban it again. Yeah. The 1-star Toby, still good. You still play it. It's just really good, especially when you have to use Wakauchi's secret effect to like keep playing. You make this a lot. This thing's also still just really good. Easy level 10s. This card you need to play if you're I do think you need to play like the Gearbox Tunneler package, and this like is part of it, because if you only open Wakauchi and like no other super heavy, this is how you make the combo board. You make this instead of like Excel right away effect to bring the Wakauchi back from your extra deck. You have to search the Soul Peacemaker off the Piercer, tribute that for scales, then you link, then you play, because you link this and search the high scale, the General Coral. so you don't like scale Kalshi when you synchro it off. Yeah, it was good. It helps you play through hand traps too. Like if the Denglong thing gets stopped, you just default to like regular super heavy combos. One Barone. This card still, because this card's still crazy. This card still kills people. I played locals yesterday, and then for the tournament today, I summoned this like a lot. It's still just so silly. I don't think I'm ever going to cut this card because it's just like a mini Axis code, but sometimes it just feels better. And then last synchro I played was this. People are probably like, oh, how do you summon this? There's like a Sword Soul card. You need like the Worm non-tuner, and I do play the Worm non-tuner. It's Zephranu. Zephranu is the non-Worm tuner. So there's like some hands where either you like hard draw it, or like instead of like going for the 2 counter traps, you can make this as well as having the counter traps like be live. So I made this like 3 times today, like going first, and it's also just kind of like crazy because I kept noticing when I was like doing test hands, like test combo was like, wow, like a second like level 10 is coming up, and I was like, should I just play like a second Barone or like a second or like a Chenging or something? And then I saw this, and I'm like, I wish I could play that before I realized, oh wait, I can, because I can just use Zephranu and then like a Wakaushi to make it, or I can use Zephranu plus like a super heavy equipped with Soul Gaia booster to make this. It came up, and it was pretty good in the times that it did come up.
Yeah, it seems pretty spicy.
Yeah, I don't think you need to play this. Like, you can get away without playing it, but I found it like really good and like really good utility for my deck. Like, I don't think I would take this out for anything else. I don't feel like I need Unicorn access code cards like that. So for me, that's like a good 15 spot. But you should always be playing this card if you're playing super heavy. It's just too good. Especially when you Wakaushi lock yourself. Like, you just make this and then they're just dead. And the lock doesn't even matter. That's it for the main, though. Side deck, shout out to Magnazone. He's friend-shaped. Side deck, honestly, it really didn't change much from the YCS. I still played like the same cards like this. These for cash and stuff. This was the only change from the main deck to side deck, but it can go back in the main. And the card I took out for it was the 3rd Retaliating Sea. I really, honestly, I'll be honest, I didn't really put in a whole lot of thought for the side deck for this event. I was just like, all right, this is good against this is good against that. I worry more about the main deck. 2 Crow, 3 Eccentric still. You just kind of have to play it. No spell and trap removal. 3 Bestials for lab and branded. Yeah, I played against 1 lab and it was really good. Or 2 labs, and they were really good both times. And then the one of this thing still for spell and trap. Searchable spell and trap removal. This card's fine. I summoned it once today and it did well. Popped an anti-spell. And then I just made Saratobi and... or not Saratobi, the Steam Train King, because this locks you if you special it. And it was still good. I'll probably still always play this going forward, just because it's searchable. It's a searchable one of like side deck card for specific spot removal, so I think it's solid.
Nice. Why 1 Jizakuru and 2 of the insect kaiju?
You just need the 1 Jizakuru because it's searchable off of Genius. You don't want to play anymore because it's like too big, but it's just a searchable kaiju out. And then this is just for cash and stuff.
So
this could also just be Gamma Seal, I think, to be honest. But
okay.
I guess it comes up if it's like Earth. It hasn't come up for me yet. I honestly just like this over the Gamma Seal because I like the super kaijus. So maybe that's incorrect. It worked at the YCS. It worked at this.
Yeah,
I'll take it
for sure. So with this Scarecrow getting banned, do you think Denglong was an actual good replacement that makes this deck viable going forward?
I think the deck is 100% viable. People who like look down on it probably just haven't like tested with it enough. Because it still does crazy things. And to be honest, if people don't think it's viable, I'm fine with that. Please take Droll out of your main deck, take Ogre out of your main deck. That'll make it a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
And for anyone else who still wants to play the deck. But Danglong doesn't replace Scarecrow. Nothing can truly replace Scarecrow. That card is just stupid. Link 1s are stupid. They messed up printing like the first Link 1, which was like Clara Rushka or some weird thing like that. Like Link 1s were always a mistake. So I knew its time was going to come eventually.
Nice.
But Danglong is also almost equally as stupid as Scarecrow. And just does so much on its own.
Yes. So with Danglong and you playing it, were you actually happy or surprised on how well the deck was able to adapt without Scarecrow? Were you more worried about it? Were you worried that it was pretty much unplayable after Scarecrow before testing it today?
I wasn't super worried about it. I actually it was probably the most fun I had with like testing a deck before an actual like tournament or event after the list. Because I was like on an undisclosed platform to build a deck, and I would just do something like, oh, this works, this card works, or, oh, this card's crazy, this card seems crazy, and I just kept like finding fun things to like maybe play in the deck. Some things that obviously just wouldn't work very well, but I was like, oh, this is cool, and then I found like the Tautoi and being able to make Rowan 5 with this, I'm like, this is actually kind of sick. Like I said before, I didn't like come up with the Wakauchi's a 1-card Denglong thing. I don't know who did. It honestly wasn't like really hard to see, especially when this came back. People were just trying to find stuff. But I wanted to take that like 1-card Denglong thing, and instead of playing it in Engine in another deck, play it in the actual deck that like those cards were designed for, because I think it just flows a lot better.
Nice, nice. So, is there any other last remarks or comments you'd like to make before signing off?
Rip Scarecrow, rip Denglong, because they're gonna ban it again. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, and with that said, this is Nick with JNC signing out. Peace.